Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? How was everyone's week been? It's a Thursday. If you're wondering why I'm dressed up like this, it's because I just got back from happy hour with people and I had a very happy time. Very happy. I threw axes. It was lovely. It was lovely. So that's where I was, and I am very unprepared for stream because I literally have not opened this keyboard, so I have no idea. I have no idea what like play or whatever the fuck or PCB. So we're just gonna see what's in here. So that fit check. This is my fit. This is my fit. Do you like my fit? There you go. Okay, so that's my fit. Okay, how was everyone doing? How was everyone's week? Can everyone tell me how happy you guys have been? Because if you're happy, I'm happy. That's what is going on, okay? Anyway, we're building a keyboard today. It's called the Fox Lab Times 65 Mechanical Keyboard Kit. Kitty, tickle my kitty. Anyway, and we got some stuff to unbox. We have some stuff from KMS Keys. I'm single-handedly keeping KMS Keys alive at this point. We're gonna do a giveaway for KMS Keys red jacket switches because the key circle will kill himself if I don't buy his stuff, okay? So we're gonna do a giveaway for what do they have this week? They've got red jacket switches at 40% off. Hello, do you see that? Crazy shit happening. And we're gonna check out some stabs as well from Click Clack. Okay, we're gonna, oh fuck, Jesus, I just threw it on the ground. We're gonna check out some switches from Click Clack as well, okay? Clit, emphasis on clit, okay. Okay, what's happening? What's happening? Let me rechat. My computer was not working. I had to restart it like 6 times, okay? And I was like, thank God, because like, finally, an excuse for me did not stream, but my computer decided to start working, so I guess I'll stream, you know what I mean? Anyway, welcome in. How was everyone's week? Fuck. Let's see. Koala full Dragon Z ball mode. Fix it within 2 minutes. Call Inferior Kev to fix it. Oh shit! Manic, thank you so much for the raid of 26. Big old raid, big old biddies in my face. Hello. How was your stream? How was your stream, Manic? What did you do on your stream? Hello, hello. What is going on? What's happening? What's happening? How are your titties? What's the state of the titty? Okay, state of the titty. SOTT. Let me see it. I'm just kidding. That's harassment. Okay, let's see. Let me go through chat. I'm, of course, very behind. Did you try catching it? Hello, Shonies. Shonies, Emiphobia, and Asshole are here. Kev, KBD is also here. Welcome in, y'all, my beloved. Oh my God, this music is kind of loud. I'm smarter, baby, smarter. Anyway, what are we doing? Sheesh, take it to 94. Is your computer plugged in? It was not plugged in. Have you tried turning it off and on? I literally turned it off and on and it worked. Okay, so that's the situation here. What's happening? What is happening? We're rebooting. Okay, we're still on pre-chat mode, okay? Who is excited for the Texas Mechanical Keyboard Meetup, aka Kimlin Win Convention? Who is excited? Because I am certainly excited. I cannot wait to just see everyone just have such a beautiful time. Everyone in this community gets along perfectly. There is no drama. Everyone loves each other. And I just love to see it. We're a family, you know, family, you know what I mean? Let's see, I'll be watching Tex-Mex stream. Well, yes, I will be streaming the Tex-Mex meetup. I will be streaming the Tex-Mex meetup on Saturday. That'll be exciting, okay? I'll give you some VIP exclusive look, okay? I'm going to watch Texas while taking my exam so my professor can watch too. Good luck on your exam, Koala. I'm very sorry you have to do an exam. I'm very sorry to hear that. Rest in pieces for you, Koala. Can we get a shout out to everyone? Just shout out to everyone. Do we need to do this? Do we need to say this again? Can we just shout out to everyone? Also, I'm breaking out like crazy. Like, I'm getting like acne. You know, it's like pre-meetup stress because, you know, I basically planned the entire meetup. Like, I did the whole thing. Like, Tex-Mex, it's LydiaCon, okay? I literally, like, I did the whole thing. Who is the key circle? I don't know who that is. Let's see. Asshole ED has finally been fixed. Hello? Okay, we're delayed. Okay, let's see. Pledge. Omega delay. Where is the PC problem? I just have to restart my PCB, you know? We just have to restart it. We gotta restart, okay? We gotta reset and restart. Listen, folks. Folks, I love using the word folks. Folks with an X. Because we're like that. We're like that. Folks, not with a KS, but with an X. Women with an X. WOMXN. Don't talk to me unless you replace man with X in it, okay? To be fair, Lydia can just skip reading everything before she actually starts saying there's nothing of value here. No, there's absolutely everything of value happens here, okay? Wamix. I'm a Wamix. We brought the chaotic energy and broke everything. Very true, very valid, okay? My parents are still in China. They're gonna get arrested. I'm just kidding. No, they're not. I'm gonna get arrested. Okay, pre-stream chat, very informative. Very true. Pre-stream chat is very, very important. I very much care about my pre-streamers, okay? Let's see. China. First, asshole, congrats on the first Mohuba 10 push-ups. I'm gonna have to button up my shirt all the way because I'm not trying to show my titties, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to show my titties here, you know? I value my titties too much to show them to y'all, okay? What do you mean? Very informative information she needs to know about ED, erectile dysfunction, executive directors, eating dicks. They're 2 minutes late. 2 giveaways right now. Update marbles. Maybe I should update marbles right now because we are gonna do a giveaway at the end of stream. But anyway, I'm debating if I should use these KMS keys HMX switches or these SWK Ripple. You know, Ripple my nipple. You know what I mean? One of them rides with nipple, so I think that definitely takes the lead there. Marbles does not need to update. Thank the fucking Lord, because fuck you, Marbles. Okay, what's happening? Look at me. Oh shit, I almost missed stream from the dad house. Are you at Keyboard Father's house, Shiloh? Who all is here? We have, Spaceballs not, Mohuba, Shiloh, Kevin Gibby, Shoney's an asshole. Where is Spaceballs? Did he die? Potentially. Maybe he died. Okay, hello, Shiloh. Shout out to Shiloh. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to Koala. Shout out to KBD. Thank you all so much for the mutual shout outs and mutual sucking. I appreciate it. Nine is going to be the MC for the mode meetup. Yes, if you have not heard, I will be the MC. The massive cock of the mode meetup. Lots of cocks. Size queen. I will be handing out dildos at the meetup, okay? I'm very excited. Yes. Hello, Stubby Cone. Welcome in. Fantasy, be a writer, genre on a fantasy. Okay, what's happening? Guy Fieri, are you happy? Got back from Flavortown. Are you hour plus? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Hi, Lydia. Hello, Bread Roll. What's up, bestie? Hello, bestie. What is going on, bestie? Bestie, okay, should we look at what they sent us? Because, like, apparently we care about keyboards. You know, we care about keyboards, whatever. So, let's see. I don't have a scissor, so I'm gonna have to stick this in between my legs because that's the only way I can scissor it open, you know? Let's see. Yes, thank you for the shout out. Axe is how gay of you. I got almost a bullseye my first time throwing an axe. Like, I'm literally like, just call me a lessie. Call me a lessie, but like do it in a way where it's like filled with hate and you're like calling me a slur. You know what I mean? It really turns me on when people call me slurs. Okay, where? Oh, I have a scissor here. I just found it. Which is gayer, me or the scissor? I would scissor my scissors. Okay, let's open this up. Let's open this up. Love that shirt. No feedback. Thank you so much. I really like this shirt too. I really do like this shirt, you know? So thank you very much. You want me to take it off for you and give it to you? Okay. I can't wait to have get my boobs signed by the Key Circle at the meetup. Okay, what are these stabs? I don't even know what these are. These are some new stabs that they're developing. We're developing in the womb. Life starts at conception. No, let's not go there. I'm sorry. When does life start? It doesn't start. We're all dead. Okay, anyway, ignore what I said. Ignore the last 10 seconds of me talking, okay? You look great. Thank you very much. What the fuck? Peepo Shy? What the fuck? Squat lower. Insty is here. What's a happy? Insty is here. Hello, Insty. He's about to get me canceled. He's collecting screenshots. What are these? Fucking blue wires? What the fuck is this? They included some lube too? What the fuck is this? So these are some new click-clack stabs. Blue wires. This is like, what is this? Oh, look, it's already, you see? It's already like shrink wrapped. It's already shrink wrapped. Look at this shit. My finger's like nasty. What the fuck? This like shrink wrap. This shit. Okay. Okay. And there's a whole lube brush in here. You know, stick it up my ass. You know, because I already have another one. What's a happy? So we already have this. Very interesting. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Well, I don't really need this, but thank you very much. What are these even called? What are these new stabs called? These are already shrink wrapped. Okay, let's look at these. I think we need to really examine this up close. There's like shit coming out of my. Okay. Let me see what these are, because where is she? Okay, let's see. Stabs, sending you plate. Okay, so they have some PCB mount and plate mount ones. Customized by Click Clack. So these, they have plate mount ones and PCB mount. These are green. Interesting, very fascinating stuff right here. Fascinating, green and blue. We love it. What's green and blue? What's green and blue? My money and my balls. Green and blue, baby. Okay, what's happening? I was at the mall, bought candy, looked for jewelry, didn't find any, need more bracelets. I don't wear any bracelets. I just wear, this is my watch. This is all I wear. Click Clack, I'm picky. Cancy Key social key manager is ghosting me. Is he really ghosting you? I'm gonna kill him. Clits are clacking. I love clacking clits. What is the sound when you flick the clit? What does that mean? Oh my god, speaking of KNC Key's social media manager who wants to kill himself if you don't buy the weekly discount, every week there will be an item placed here that is marked down up to 60%, usually 50%, but 60% off this week only. One product, KNC Key's Red Jacket V1 Redux Linear Switches. The original Red Jacket linear switches are back and better than ever with a now polished full nylon housing and long palm stem. These switches create a classic cherry-like Franken-switch sound signature that will blow you away. Whether you're a seasoned keyboard enthusiast or just starting, the Red Jacket linear switches are a must-have for your next build. They're a fucking must-have. They're a fucking must-have. They're sure to be your new favorite switches with their smooth linear feel and satisfying full capital clacky sound. So what are you waiting for? Order your Red Jacket linear switches today and experience the difference for yourself. There you go. Because he will kill himself. Like, he's not joking. I saw the news. I'm just kidding. That's too far. I'm sorry. That's too far. You know, I'm depressed. I can make jokes like that. I'll send you my Lexapro prescription, okay? What are these? We also bought some of these HMX switches to support KMS keys, okay? So we can use these KMX. What are these? KMX. Oh my god. These are the Hyacinth Silly Works. Very silly. Oh, look at that. The key circle is ruining this person's life. Do you know who he is? Khalil Wen Clark. The founder, CEO, chairman, board headman of KMS Keys. Okay. All right. So we have this here. What else are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, I guess we should unbox it. Okay, well, I don't even know what we're doing anymore. I don't know what we're doing. Okay, let's see. Raid, I'm at the raid. What up, Nigo? Starsky, hello. I cannot wait to receive your nipple. I literally do not have any information for these switches. These stabs from Click Clack. I hope they're good. I'm very curious about this fucking shrink wrap shit. You know, it's all shrink wrapped. It's like soft, you know? It's like my ass. You're not getting rid of it so easy. If you cancel stream, we're in chat festering. Let's see, I'm very sorry for being late. Manic, welcome in. Big ol' shout out to Manic. Tiggle Biddies, absolutely true. Shogun Ballistic, first time chat. Thank you for the first time chat. Welcome in. We did a shitload of window shopping and a deep dive on Milktooth. What the fuck is Milktooth? Milktooth site? What is that? What's Milktooth? We're milking? Milktooth. Oh, what's this? Whose website? These are a lot of switches. Oh, very interesting. Thocky, creamy. What's this? Muted switches, linear switches. What is this website? Do I have an Instagram? Exclamation Cup Plastic Bits, welcome in. I'll see you this weekend. Oh, gotta go. Oh, Zuabi is here. Hello, Zuabi. I'm so sorry, but thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I love you. Let me suck. I'm just kidding. Very inappropriate topic of conversation here. Should we look at what we're building? My titties are ready. Areola? Areola, welcome in. How are you doing, Areola? How's the areolas today? We're just discussing them. Titties, hello. Welcome, shout out to Areola. How are the worms doing? How are the worms? Did you win? Are you a worm whisperer or something? Like, have the worms accepted you as a part of them? Let's see what's happening. Exclamation Insti cock. I didn't win PC Haku. Pikachu? Who won the PC Kohaku? Can someone tell me and also let me know where you live? I'm just kidding. I already have a Kohaku. Imagine not having a Kohaku. Like, are you a Pavo? I'm just kidding. Don't ever call people Pavo. That's my favorite insult, though. I like using the word Pavo. It's not funny, though, you know? Anyway, all right, let's see what's in here. Bam, 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 bam. There you go. Perfect unboxing experience, okay? Classic time. Fascinating stuff, okay? All right, let's unsheath it. Fox Lab since 2017. Feels bad, I'm very sorry, Zuabi. What's happening? Sup? Enable 15? Okay, we have a 15-second slow-mo, thank you. I'm more excited for KeyCon than Tex-Mex. Kappa penis. I do not have the Kappa penis emote. But, oh wait, Karma by Jojo Siwa? Of course. Karma's a bitch. Karma's a bitch. I should've known better. Love this song, my favorite. Hello, Jizzy Dreamer. Yo, speaking of titties, the ones I sent you left Texas made a random trip to Massachusetts. What's going? Wait, what's happening? Yee! Thank you for the 16 months. Hi, Nana. I hope you're having an amazing week. I hope you're having an amazing week. Oh God, why is it not? I hope you're having an amazing week. My week is going all right. You know, I went axe throwing for the first time before stream, so that was fun. You know, hang out with my coworkers, getting the tea. Some of the tea is piping. On some of these cases, they be crazy. Some of these people be fucking their HR people, and you know, it's crazy. You know, who's fucking their HR person? 6 minutes in already on slow mode. This bodes well. Can't wait to see Shiloh. There's no drama, mama. Hello, Turtle Cat is here. Welcome in, Turtle. Hello. Let's see. Yee, how was your week? How was your week? Turtle Cat, welcome in. It's always good to see you. How are you doing? How are you? Yes, shout out to Turtle Cat. I'm actually not a turtle or a cat. Very valid. I'm gonna show up at 12:30. I'm gonna show up at 1 on the dot, baby. On the dot. All right, let's see. All right, we're unsheathing. We're unsheathing. All right. It's being lie. Thou shalt not cheat. Thou shalt not get caught. Girl, you end up just like me. Oh, karma's a bitch. I should've known better. If I had a wish, I would've never effed around. She said never effed around. She didn't say fuck. This karma's a bitch. Okay, let's see what's in here. All right, we're unsheathing. This has been unsheathed. Okay, let's see. Do we just do this? Oh, okay. There you go. Everything is out of here. Unsheath. There's stuff in here. This is the keyboard, okay? Just testing out if everyone will come of it. Shout out everyone. You did. Lydia Con. I planned everything. The entire keyboard meetup. Can you guys give me money? Funnel money into my bank account for planning the entire meetup. The memes? What memes? I don't understand. Lydia Con, thank you very much. Can we do exclamation Lydia Con for like from now on, please? Delay, hello. So you did another knife twist. Karma's a bitch. Gonna stream after the meet. Where would the X in Chinese go? It would go in the first in I. Can you say China, China? Please, it is important. Kajata, welcome in. Hello, Kajata. How are you? You'll never believe no one stole my laundry. What the fuck does that mean? Oh, you've been doing laundry, is that right? What is this? So there's plate foam and then there's this, whatever this is. What is this? This is like, you know, I actually like, you know how, is this gonna get me canceled? But I actually like referring, okay. I like referring to myself as a chink. Is that okay? Like, I'm reclaiming that word. Is that okay? I actually like saying it. It's like empowering. Where's the plate? Oh, I guess the plate isn't here. Okay, no. Okay, what is it? Is this 1.2 millimeter? Okay, I don't know what this is, but here's the PCB. We don't have a split backspace situation here. This is a 6.25, I guess. Okay, it's a full backspace. And then I guess the plate is just in here. Anyway, how are all my chinks doing? What? Okay, I tried so I got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. KMS Kevin. D Lau, welcome in. Hello? Welcome in, D Lau. How are you? KMS Kevin, myself, so true. Paging Mr. Balls. Shout out Pears. Chuck, where is Mr. Balls right now? I'm buying tickets right now. How big are the dildos? You'll have to come and find out. You have to come to find out. You know what I mean? Okay. All right. We're unsheathing. We're unsheathing. Am I gonna set civil rights back today? Am I gonna set women's rights back on this stream? Possibly. Oh, we gotta really like do it like this. Oh, okay. We gotta really like. That's one reason to buy. Alicia Soar, drama. Hello, Alicia. How are you? Oh my God. 3 months. Can we please shout out Alicia Soar? Alicia Sar. How are you? Are you going to any meetups? How is it going? What is the situation? All right. All right. I pulled out. There you go. Where's the mode meetup? The mode meetup is going to be in Boston. I've never been in Boston. Okay. And I think I'll go to Boston. Look at this fucking plate. This reminds me of, you know what? The fucking, what the fuck do you call it? What the fuck do you call it? The Matrix Corsa? It's like a skeleton plate. Very fascinating, very interesting stuff. Top right blocker right here. I don't know if it spins, but look at this fucking weight right here. Listen, this is one keyboard I will not be giving away. This shit is, look at this. I want to open it and like spin it. Look at, this is absolutely fucking insane. Designed by Fox Lab. Look at this Time in 2024 classic. But I don't know if they needed to put all the words there, you know? But look at this shit. I'm about to stick this up my ass, you know? Oh my God, and this is glass? Look, because I'm a watch enthusiast. You see? I love it, okay? But it does have the top right badge, okay? What are we doing? Are we doing stabs? Should we take this apart first? No hidden screws. Let's take this apart first. Let's see. Wish I could meet real people, but alas, school. Just take a break from school. Just say fuck med school. Fuck med school. You don't need to be a doctor. You don't need to be a doctor. You know what I mean? Scissor called Mr. Balls pager. Where is Spaceballs? He's gonna lose his streak. Maybe don't call him if you want to win, you know? Libel, none of us likes keyboards. We hate keyboards, down with keyboards. Exclamation riot. Lydia is the straightest person I've seen in my life. Thank you. Lesbian, very valid, very true. Anyone want to go to the island of Lesbos with me? How many lesbians are there? What's the gayest? Okay, the gayest city in America. Oh, Spaceballs is here. Welcome. Okay, I guess he's not canceled. Okay, unfortunately, he's not canceled. Shout out to Spaceballs. What's the most like lesbian city in America? There's like gay city, right? Like I think the gayest is San Francisco, but like what's the most lesbian? Is it still San Francisco? Insty, can you confirm as a gay male? As the president of the gay males in the keyboard hobby. Can you please confirm? Okay, all right, we're taking this apart. Why is it not coming out? Why is it not coming out? I've been so supportive. What the fuck? What is this? Am I supposed to unscrew this? Okay. Is this supposed to? I have to use different screws, bitch? Okay. I gotta use different screws, I'm sorry. Been dead inside for years. Oh, Kiwi switches. Hello, yes. Very, very straight vibes here. Straights only. This is a straights only event. I hate gay people. You know? Hate them. Hate them because I ain't them, you know? Anyway. Hey, yo, I mean, doctorate, fancy, hello? They give you a whole ass lube kit? Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any information about this. The packaging has nothing in it. Like, the packaging does not have anything on it, and I just have a whole lube kit, so I don't know. Should we do a lube giveaway? Should I spit in it before I give it away? Maniac! Let's see, I don't know if it pre-shrink... I don't know if I like pre-shrink wrap. It's already got a condom on, yes. The stabs already have a condom on them. Is this the way I do it? Is this the way I get rid of these screws? I don't know what I'm doing. Exclamation examine. Brush tip look massive? Yeah, massive tips, you know? Love the massive tips. Always go raw. Are these like a tight fit like you, though? Excuse me. Sexual content, please? Excuse me? Not in my chat. What is this for, though? I literally have no idea what... Oh, wait, is this like a... Oh! There's two... Y'all see this? There's two USBs. There's two JST ports. You see this? And I guess you can move the JST port from here to here. So there's two ways. If you want it on the left or the right, you can do that. I guess if that's important to you, you know? So there you go. You got options. We got options here. I'll shrink wrap you, make you feel tight, ice cream, yum, yum. I can't believe it's been 19 months. What the fuck? Green reminds me of plastic for Christmas lights. It does remind me of plastic for Christmas lights. Let's see. Mlem, Pazuzu is here. Welcome in. Shout out to Pazuzu. Hello. You're so hot. Show me your pee-pee. The Key Circle actually decided to bail on staying with his bros, his incel gang. And oh wait, there's internal screws. Oh my god, I'm so sick. Okay, there's external and internal. We're learning things as we go. Life is all about learning. It's a journey of learning. Okay, so this has internal and external screws. Okay, I don't even know if I needed to take that out, but we'll see. Okay, all right, this is being unscrewed. We are unscrewing. All right, unscrewing. KMS keys. Holy shit, damn. Holy shit, the shill sold. Is this for your brain or what happened to Nine You're hired. Add. Oh my god, hydrate. Thank you for the hydrate. Okay, let me look at how many fucking screws are on this weight. Look at how many screws are on this fucking weight. Hold on. Well, all right, there you go. I don't even know if I needed to redo this. Okay, this is a top mount. This is a top mount. Interesting, fascinating. Look at how many fucking screws go on this weight. Do you see this? This is like some fucking braille. This is like braille or something. Look at this. So there's two ports. So you can do it on the left side or right. Look at how many, but bro, this weight, I wish it worked. This is crazy. What does this say? What does this say? This is, what is it? 135? What does that mean? Oh wait, that's the second hand. No, it's, oh my god, I don't even know how to read time. Oh, it's, what is this? 10:08. 10:08. Why is it 10:08? Is it 10? Yeah, 10. Why is it 10:08? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Can someone decipher it? Someone decipher it for me. Should we do this the stupid way where we like do this? Because I don't want to unscrew the... We should try it like this. I'm not going to unscrew the plate because I'm lazy. All right, let's just give this a shot. I guess we're doing stabs. You're hired. Shildia. Oh my god, you know, speaking of names, you know what I was thinking about this. You know what name I've always thought was really cute? Emmy. The name Emmy, I think, is really cute. Like EMMY. But like, I was thinking the other day, Hemi is also a cute name. Like Hemmy. Hemmy. Hemi is a good, but full name hemorrhoid. Very, I think like, I would name my dog Hemorrhoid and then I'd be like, this is my dog Hemi. And they'd be like, oh my god, Hemi, such a cute name. Like, what's the full name? It'd be like, named after Hemorrhoid, you know? I actually think that, is someone making a list of names that I think are cute? Can someone start a list? Okay, what are we doing? I don't know what we're doing. I guess we need to do this. I guess we gotta fucking do the fucking shit right here. Okay. Hold up, this shit is not big enough. Okay, I gotta put, okay. There you go. There you go. And then I'll put the screws here. I need like multiple trays. Like, I'm sorry. We need more trays. Okay, this is not enough trays. What are we doing? I don't know what we're doing. We're in 90s era ads, KMX. No way she has this much energy on Lexapro. I'm on Lexapro, escitalopram. Check my medical records. That should be me. Do you have those fancy orange pill bottles? I do have orange pill bottles. They are orange. Oh my god. I gotta tell y'all something that is so... Oh, I didn't even hydrate. I gotta tell you. Okay. So my mom got... Okay, so my mom had food poisoning for like a whole week and she was not getting better. She was not getting better. She went and got some meds. She was like very sick, like very disoriented. She went and got some meds. And she'd been taking her meds for like 4 to 5 days and she wasn't getting any better. And she was like, I don't know what's going on. She's still like very disoriented, right? And my dad was the one that kind of arranged the medicine in like the medicine cabinet and he put like her medicine in the front. it turns out she'd been eating Rue's medicine. She had been taking dog medicine for 5 days. And she was fucking livid. She didn't even read the bottle because they were both red. She looked and it was like 5-star veterinary center for Rue. She'd been taking dog medicine for 5 days. She was so mad at my dad. Or I'm like, okay, but like, read the fucking bottle before you do it. But she was also like, she was very pissed off at my dad. And yeah, so I am just like, I laughed. I thought it was so funny, but like, I also feel bad for her because she was taking dog medicine for 5 days. Anyway, so that's what happened. So check your meds before you take them. Be careful. Those are fire switches. I have them in my Neo 70 right now. I don't know. Should we do SWK Ripple or HMX? I don't know how long I want this stream to be. I am driving to Dallas tomorrow after work, so these are fire switches. Xanax, we love Xannies. Pop some Xannies, okay? Be careful on Xannies. Don't take too much. Be careful. That's how matchy. My friend popped too many Xannies and she almost walked into the fucking. She walked onto oncoming traffic. Anyway, that's how mad she gets when she sees my content. Like orange and white caps. 90 of them are useless. It's just a white bottle. Like, I gotta go. Thank you so much, Zuavi, for being here. A lot of people in the new hobby use milk. I've never heard of milk tooth. I've literally never heard of milk tooth. Am I like a boomer? Am I like a keep boomer? Best selection of switches milk. I've never heard of this. Switches? HMX Jammy, HMX Emo. Dude, I gotta try this. I gotta buy something from this website. Sticky Rice, Lotus, B-Sun Hut, Cherry Nixie. Very fascinating. BCP. What are some switches? Poro, HMX Haimu. Fuck, Jesus Christ, that was a wet one. Damn, that was a wet one. Okay, let's see. Gateron Mini, Sunset Yellow. Lots of switches. Lots of switches. HMX, I love this colorway. Joker vibes. Gravel. Does this sound like gravel? What's going on? Jersey Lotus. They have a lot of switches. Otemu, lots of Otemu. You know, have not heard Otemu make a lot of lots of other brands too. Daru. Oh, that's a lot. Mahjong. Oh, I had the Daru Mahjong. So many switches. Wow. Fascinating. Love to see it. We love it. I love to see it. Anyway, El Quan won. El Quan and Asshole won. You guys won the fucking, what the fuck do you call it? The Kohuchi? Congratulations on winning the fucking Kohuchi. Can I have it? Hell no. Oh, wait. Asshole didn't win. He lied. We deep dived the shit out of that shite. Parametric filters. It's not perfect, but Lotus better. What the fuck is Lotus? LODAS better than most search. What the fuck does that mean? Lotus? Load of these. Get a load of these nuts. Baka Pabo. Doing. I already drank. I have some of this tea. My ass isn't itchy today because I'm wearing like normal shorts. Okay, so look at this. So this is like this is like condomed up already. So we put these in these like Christmas light looking color. I don't know why they picked these colors, but we'll see. All right, and then we clip it in like that. Do we think we need lube for this? I'm curious about this. I hope it's not whatever the fuck, you know. Wait, how far behind? I'm 17 minutes. I can see easy access. I almost read allegedly as allegedly because allergies. Anyway, allegedly JoJo Siwa created gay pop. Very true. She's my icon. She's my everything. She ended up with an axe wound. Funny to see how different countries have different. In Korea, I have like little bag strips. What the fuck are you talking about? Bag strips? What? What are you talking bag? What the fuck does that mean? Picking up a tofu, what I missed, little wolf, welcome in. You didn't miss anything as per usual. The usual shenanigans happening here. Just the usual stuff. I hope, do we need the little sheets for this? I hope we don't. Okay, let's screw these in and see how these are. I think, do we need the little things? I don't know if we need it. Okay, we don't need it. It's tight in there. Need to work on clarifying some of the options. Lydia for our next gay pop icon. What kind of I thought about my stage name is Lil Dyke. Lil Dyke, you know? Big Dyke. big Lil Dyke, big Nye, you know, big Nye, Lil Dyke, you know, I love it. Very inclusive, you know. All I sing about is gay stuff. All I do is remixes, and I'm like, hey, like I'll remix like this song ETA. I'll be like, let's go, yeah. Do you think I can make a living like that? Just like remixing songs like that, like ad-libbing off songs. I think I could really make a living off of that. I think I can get really creative with the ad-libs. Lydia Khan, thank you. I appreciate it. Bamboozled LED Stray. What the fuck? What do you mean LED Stray? Marcos is here. Hello, our Brazilian keyboard enthusiast is here. Welcome in, Marcos. How are you? How are those customs fees? How are you doing? Can you give me all the customs money? Tape Mod? Is it Tape Mod? Leafer, hello, welcome in, Leafer. It's been a minute. Is this Tape Mod? Chuck Knees? I don't know if this is Tape Mod. Is it? I don't think I can. Wait, is this actually Tape Mod? Oh, I think this is. I can separate it. Wait, but it's like a thick, it's like not the same as like normal Tape Mod material. I'm not gonna use it though. Fuck that shit. We're not using foam. Fuck it. I'm foaming out my mouth. I'm rabid. Who has gotten rabies before? I think most people die from rabies. A reclaimed version of it. 1.2 flex cuts foam. Thank God the flexes are only on the plate. Look at this. Look at how this fucking thing flexes. Oh wait, you can't see. Hold up. I gotta wait. Side cam. There. Is it working? There. Look at this plate. This is just the plate flexing. It's like it's a thong plate. You know, we're flexing. I bet I could Dremel it into a half plate if I wanted to. You know, I should show off the ass on this. Oh, this is so pretty. Like, I really like that. Oh my God, I'm bricked. I'm fucking turned on right now. Sexual content. Please report me for inappropriate sexual content, please. I'm good. I'm glad to hear that you're good, Alicia Soar. We love to see it. Top right blocker, Matrix plate vibes. Yes, Rupus McPoopus. Yes, Matrix plate vibes. Lovely to see it. I want to do a poll. Which is superior? Tex-Mex, Keycon. I wanna start a fight. I wanna start some beef. You know? I just need more rumors about me. Flying around. I just want to be flying around. I'm unfortunately not going to any meetups, at least in a foreseeable future. That is unfortunate. Very unfortunate for you, Alicia Soar. What the hell? Hammer it? Too bad it doesn't work. It's so pretty. It is very pretty. Prettiest way I've done seen. Do y'all want to look at this? So there's different options. So they asked me what color I wanted. Milkshake, classic black, Sakura pink. Oh, this is pretty. Oh, that's pretty. I don't think okay. There's PC? Bitch, what the fuck? I don't think I was offered this option. Oh my God, I would have picked this one. Oh, I would have picked the fuck out of that one. I want that. I want the fucking PC one. You can also pick flex. I think this is 1.2. Default plate is an alu. They literally only have an alu default plate. I guess that is. Time 65. Hollow sounding with foam. Bottom. We've placed the slope on the bottom because it's a traditional slope. Essence of 80% style. We love to see it. Roman numeral timescales. Omega style. Omega lol. Omega cacas in chat. Let's see. Therefore, boy regrets. Therefore, to avoid regrets. Mimicking mechanical watches over chronograph dial above. I'm bricked the fuck up. Authentic feel of the keyboard. Time 65. Thin fiber key 65. Love it. Love to see it. I want the fucking PC one. I want the fucking PC one. Anyway, which is superior? Keycon is winning, as it should be. Can please everyone vote for Keycon? Do we need stabs? I mean, do we need lube? I don't think we need stabs. One day we'll go beyond the need for even spacebar stab. Let's be real. Hammer, it doesn't work. That goes pretty hard. Kind of cool, kind of gaudy. I love how gaudy it is. I'm a godly person. I love how gaudy it is. Y'all want to do this side cam action? Let's do a little side cam. Let's change it up. You know, let's get a little spicy in here. I'm feeling a little goofy today, you know? Absolutely beautiful design. It's not functional, unfortunately. It would be cool if it was functional. You know what? Muji, if y'all didn't know, Muji Sneakbox, aka my sugar daddy. No, he's not my sugar daddy. Well, he's my key daddy. Well, anyway, he is making a functional, time watch keycap. I don't know what the fuck. Wait, let me try to find it. Where is it? Sneakbox. Mio watch cap. Here, this is what it looks like. Where is it? I need to see. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Go all the way up. Mio watch cap. Here, a functioning. Okay, wait. This is what he's making. He's going to make a functional. This is a Mio whatever movement. I don't know what movement it is, but this I will fucking buy the fuck out of this. Tex-Mex is superior. You guys are fucking cucks. You guys are fucking just like bootlickers at this point, honestly. Look at this shit. I want this shit. It looks so good. He had it on like a 3D printed watch thing, so I was wearing it. I love it. I love it. Would it be functional if it was cool? Would it be cool if time wasn't the time you placed the order? Can you change the time on this? You might be able to change the time on this. Should we experiment? Oh, that stream would be too long. And also, I would definitely not be able to put this back together. I would not be able to put this back together. Let's be for real. Like, my brain capacity is, like, extremely low. I'm, like, very low IQ, you know? I too would insert this keyboard into my posterior. Thank you. Thank you for agreeing with me. Pegging, you know, the G-spot is in the anus. You know? P is stored in the anus. Kamikita, hello, welcome in. Oh, I should change the build command. I should change the build command. P is stored in the anus. So we do have an alu plate. Let me change it. And then I guess let's use these ripple switches. I've never tried these ripples. And they're also click-clack, I think. So, alu thong plate, and then these are SWK ripple switches. Okay, so we're gonna use some ripple switches. I don't know if I'm gonna do 2 builds. We'll see. What is school? I'm turning 31 this year. 31. Jeez, hag. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Penn Island, San Francisco's not gay anymore. Why is San Francisco not gay? Philly has a neighborhood, home of the big gay ice cream. I wanna taste some big gay ice cream. I wanna lick the gay ice cream. You know what I mean? I want Ariana Grande the ice cream there. Home of penis. Sounds like my kind of ice cream. God damn, 2 ports, nice. Interesting design. Kind of wish they give you the option for USB pass-through with that kind of... What's USB pass-through? What does that mean? I don't know anything about computers and keyboards. GPUs, that time to 420. Should I try to change this? I'm like scared to take this apart. There's so many parts to this, you know? Should I try? No, I'm gonna cry. I'm very emotionally fragile right now. Watch enthusiast, what a memer. I'm a watch enthusiast. Do I read the time on the watches? No, I read it on my phone. I don't use my watch for actual functional watch purposes. It's just there to look pretty. Pretty little risky baddie, moody dee dee dee, as you catch me if you can. And for those of you who don't know, these are the new click-clack staffs. That's why they look like that. They're pre-wrapped, pre-shrink wrapped, by the way. That's why they're blue. It's like soft. So we'll see. Maybe we'll try them, you know, without fucking, what the fuck, lube? I don't know. She gets enthusiastic looking at watches doesn't mean she can read them. Yes. Just because I get enthusiastic about watches doesn't mean I actually know how to read time. Okay, please. Thank you. Google said the positioning of the hands at 10 creates a happy face. But it's not even 10:10 is the thing. I know it creates a happy, but it's not even 10:10. It's like, it's 10:08. You see that? Am I lying? It's 10:08. 10:08, 35 seconds. Okay. Let's see. Hemi girl, maybe the end of Golden Week. What the fuck is end of Golden Week? What's Golden Week? What is Golden Week? Is that like a golden shower or something? In my golden shower, it's my golden shower. Emily is pronounced beautifully in Norwegian. How do you say Emily in Norwegian? Can you say it? Omelette? Omelette? Does it sound like omelette? Omelette? Doctor, she has escaped again. Gotta hire new doctors, more security too. Grippy sock prison. What's grippy sock prison? I don't understand. Why do you need grippy socks in a prison? So like you don't slip when in the shower? Is that really why you need grippy? So don't fall, don't drop the soap, don't slip. Is that what it is? Have people dropped soaps? I've almost slipped and fell in the fucking bathroom so many times, you know. Let's see. They invest in other stuff like actual therapy. I'm laughing IRL. How could you? Don't ever experience joy while watching my stream ever, okay? Oh my fucking god. Based. I don't know what I said. I don't know what the fuck half these reactions are. Based? So true, but it sucks here. LOL. Oh, it was my mom eating my dog's medicine. Right. See, can you guys, when you guys are laughing, can you guys laugh and do regarding blah so I know what you're laughing about? Because I want to know, like, what I'm saying is funny. You know, I'm like a narcissist. Call me a narcissist. Roof, bark, bark, skill issue. Can you tell us that conversation? Oh, she was pissed off. She was like, 你完全不会照顾病人。你放这个狗的样子，我放在前面。你完全不会照顾病人。我回来的时候，我在楼上睡觉。你把药拿回来的时候，叫我到楼下吃药。你是这样子照顾病人的吗？要是你生病的话，我会把水倒好，药放在小碗里给你。Okay, that's what she said. She was going in on him. She was going in on him, and I was like, none of my business, none of my business. But I was like, this is kind of your fault, though. You know, my dad really does. And then like, not only did he cause my mom to eat dog medicine, he like went upstairs with his. After my mom yelled at him while she was like dying in bed, she was like, "Bring the fucking medicine up to me. Why are you telling me to go downstairs?" Anyway. She went upstairs, he dropped the entire bottle of medicine, like, on the ground. There was, like, dust everywhere. And my mom was just in bed, like, dying, like, looking at him. It was, like, all over there was, like, dust on it. So my dad, it was, like, under, like, the shelves, like, the fucking and my dad had to, like, pick them up and, like, wipe them off and then hand it to her. It was so bad. She was so pissed. And my dad does not know how to take care of people. He's, like, useless. He admits it, though. He admits that he's useless. But that was the conversation. I was like, Eating too much, you're only supposed to take half a tab. Dude, my friends have taken more than half a tab, okay, of fucking Xannies. They're cute. Worst thing Xanny did to me was I ordered 16 axes. You ordered 16 axes off Shopee? What the fuck? Why'd you order axes, though? Oh my god. That is so random. Anyway, axe throwing is kind of hard, though. I think axe throwing should be an Olympic sport. Fart. Hey, I redeemed Hydrate. You saw it for hydration and drinking problem. Can't fucking drink. When I actually go out with like my coworkers and stuff, I don't drink because I save that for marriage. You know, I'm saving drinking for marriage. You know, but you know, Tex-Mex this weekend, I'm gonna get turned and do some karaoke. You know, I'm gonna get turned. Dwink loser. What did I win? Whale Kwan. Shout out to Whale Kwan. Congratulations. We're about to butt plug this. Oh wait, this is the wrong syringe. No wonder. I was like, there's nothing coming out. There's nothing coming out. I've been sucked dry. I've been sucked dry. Is this working? Okay. Fill it up. Fill me up, daddy. Okay, what's happening? Doing. Congrats on the dub. Congrats. I did win a Kohaku. Congratulations. How does it feel to be on top of the world? How does it feel to be topping everyone? Just right now, cause I'm too spicy for your heart. Has anyone tried anal beads? Of course it's not piping. Why do you have shorts that make your ass itchy? Does a swamp ass shitty? I think it's my swamp ass and the fabric that makes my ass itchy. But these are like actual nice shorts that I wear outside. So like my ass is not itching right now. You know what I mean? Time to get a unicorn so you can exit. I don't have a unicorn. Should I get a unicorn? Unicorn swamp ass sniff. Frost Zeech is here. Welcome in, Zeech. How are you, Zeech? Look at this. These new stabs. Very excited. Very festive. Okay. And we're not taking out the plate, right? We're not taking out the plate. Okay. Not taking out the plate. Ancilla, I'm going back to bed. Good night. Ancilla, thank you for the 14 months. It's going off. It's going off. I'm going back to bed. Good night. I appreciate you being here, Ancilla. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great night. It is going off. It is popping off. Popping pussies right here. Popping pills and pussies. That's my motto. Anyway, thank you very much. Have a good rest. Frost Zeech is here. We have a lot of keycap options for this, okay? Lots of keycap options. I might Cerakote this board, actually. All right, I don't want to take out the fucking plate, so let's do this. Am I like too lazy? Possibly. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. I feel like this might make my life more difficult. Is that okay? Is that okay? We're talking about different ways countries give out pills. You get your pills in an orange box. Korea gets them in clear bags. Original trays. Europe, you get your pills in trays? What do you mean? What do you mean you get them in original? What does European medicine look like? Let me see what that looks like. Ugh. This is the smart way to do it. So valid. Pitbull basically talks about in his tracks, so your odds are good for success. Thank you, thank you. What's Gucci? Hello, Deez and Boba, welcome in. How are you? How is the deezing and the bobaing? Your memory is honestly quite incredible. I expected you to forgot me by now. No, I remember everyone who comes in my stream. I make an effort to remember. I have a list and I check it twice. Gotta find out if you're naughty or nice, okay? Gotta find out. Gotta find out if you're kinky. It seems some tape mods were really thick. Oh my god. Yuri? Me gusto teclados? Yuri, hello? Thank you for the big away with the fuck 195, bitch! You are my amigo. You are my amigo, okay? Hello, welcome Yuri, welcome in Raiders. My name is Nine Go-Go. I don't speak Spanish. We're building this really cool keyboard. Look at this fucking, look at this. Look at this, is insane. Yuri, this is not, isn't it? Look at this. And look at the amount of parts for this. Times 60, this is crazy. But yes, we are building this. How was your build, Yuri? What were you up to? What were you up to? Thank you so much for the raid. This is a times 65. This is a 65% version. It's going on group buy on March 3rd. Very exciting. 195, big ol' raid. I'm brick the fuck up right now, bro. Thank you so much. Built 2 boards, holy 60. Oh, KBD fans. Oh, not March 3rd, I'm so sorry. May 3rd, I'm so sorry. Time isn't real. It's going on group buy on May 3rd, I'm so sorry, okay? Holy 60 is the one that has a bunch of holes. It's like the thong keyboard. It's like literally G-string keyboard. Again, I am very, very far behind on chat, but thank you so much for the raid. I will try to read your message on the side. Seems on tape mods are really thick, and you can die from rabies if you don't seek medical attention. Rabies run for the cure, you know what I mean? I'm trying this new method of not removing the plate when I put in switches, so I don't have to unscrew. I prefer to be screwless, because I get screwed by life every day, you know what I mean? So this is, look at this. This is also like a skeleton plate right here. We're like that. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, Viridian Z, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. Oh, I don't think I introduced myself, but my name is Nine Go-Go. I build keyboards every Monday and Thursday at 6:30 Central. Welcome in. Welcome in. I guess it's really late for you. You're in Spain, is that right? You're in Spain? Thong plate Brennar? Yes, thong plate, absolutely. If rabies not caught early enough, you die. Can I catch rabies? Who's gonna catch rabies at the Texas meetup? You know who is gonna spread rabies at the meetup? The Key Circle. He's gonna start biting people. He's gonna start nibbling on people's ankles and spread rabies. Digital Anarchy, thank you very much for the follow. We are gonna be doing a Switch giveaway at the end of stream.